Hey viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm here to help you break free from the shackles of overused words in English. When we start learning a language, we tend to rely on a basic set of words like, important, and others. However, as we progress, constantly using these words can make our speech boring and dull. So, let's dive in, identify those overused words, and find alternatives to make your speech more dynamic. Our first culprit is like. Sure, I've mentioned using it as a filler when you need time to think, but let's talk about its other usage. Instead of repeatedly saying, I like this, try using synonyms like I admire this or I adore this.
I admire this very much, when the little woman takes a keen interest in her husband's business affairs.
I adore this woman. She's one of my dearest friends.
To add more flair, you can say, I fancy her when expressing attraction.
But I tell you, you'll probably understand this. I really fancy her.
If someone is significant to you, call them your significant other or say they are essential in your life.
I'm going to soak in my tub, and I'm going to call my significant other, and I'm going shopping.
Next, we have the word nice, which is often overused to describe something positive. Instead, opt for more specific words like pleasant, enjoyable, or delightful. For example, instead of saying that's a nice dress, you could say that's a delightful dress.
That's a delightful hat you're wearing, Mr. Murphy.
Similar to good, bad is a word that can be expanded. Instead of relying solely on bad, consider words like awful, terrible, or horrible. An example would be replacing it was a bad movie with it was a terrible movie.
This is really a terrible movie.
Very is often used to emphasize an adjective, but can become redundant. Replace it with stronger adjectives or adverbs. For example, instead of very hot, you could say scorching or sweltering.
From the freezing cold to the scorching hot.
Similar to very, really is often used as an intensifier. Explore alternatives such as truly, genuinely, or absolutely. For example, say I am genuinely grateful instead of I am really grateful. What about stuff is a vague word for objects or things. To be more precise, try using words like belongings, possessions, or items. For instance, replace put your stuff away with put your belongings away. Like stuff, things is a broad term. To be more specific, use words like objects, items, or elements. For example, replace get your things ready with get your items ready. Like is often used as a filler word. Try substituting it with such as, for example, or completely omitting it. For instance, instead of I like swimming, you could say I enjoy swimming. Amazing is used frequently to describe something impressive. Branch out by using words like astonishing, breathtaking, or mind-blowing. For example, replace that's amazing with that's mind-blowing. Similar to amazing, awesome is a word often relied upon to express admiration. Expand your vocabulary by using words such as awe-inspiring, spectacular, or jaw-dropping. For instance, instead of that's awesome, you could say that's awe-inspiring.
Remains the most awe-inspiring act of violence I have ever seen.
Now, let's tackle the word important. Beyond the basics, try using alternatives like vital for something crucial to your survival, or significant when referring to a person important to you. For instance, invite a couple and their significant other to keep it inclusive. Another option is to use essential for things crucial to maintaining your daily routine. And then there's really. Instead of a mundane I really like it, express your admiration with significantly. For instance, this building is significantly taller. And for an extra touch, instead of a simple I really love you, go for the heartfelt I love you to the moon and back. Remember, a fantastic way to enhance your vocabulary is to read and listen to diverse content. Writing a personal statement, a motivational letter, or an email requires good grammar. Instead of starting sentences with and, consider using words like moreover, in addition, or furthermore to make your speech more varied. This is crucial for exams like TOEFL or IELTS, as using and too much may lower your grade. Replace the word interesting with more specific terms to enhance your vocabulary. For example, use words like mesmerizing or fascinating instead. Learning new words is essential. And a great way to do this is by identifying words you overuse and finding synonyms. When giving compliments, use stronger words than good. Instead of saying good results, opt for words like amazing, fascinating, or impressive. In British English, smart refers to being well-dressed, while in American English, it means clever. Substitute smart with words like clever, brilliant, or wise. When someone talks about something I don't understand, I usually ask them to explain it more. Instead of saying, "Can you explain this again?" I like to use the phrase, "Could you elaborate on this a little more?" Americans often use this expression. You can also say, "Could you clarify that for me?" and provide an example. Now, let's talk about the word thing. Instead of repeatedly saying thing, try using synonyms based on the context. For example, you can use concept instead of thing. It's essential to understand the concept and avoid using the vague term thing. Similarly, when you want to express a change, consider using synonyms like adjust, transform, or modify. For instance, instead of saying change the market, you can say transform the market. Also, remember that change as a noun has alternatives like adjustment, improvement, and modification. Finally, let's talk about the word said. Instead of using said all the time, consider using different words to make your speech more interesting. For example, instead of he said or she said, you can use words like claimed, stated, declared, argued, or suggested. When you're talking about someone expressing something, replace the word say with these alternatives. For instance, use claimed when talking about someone stating a fact, stated when someone makes a formal statement, declared when they make a strong and official announcement, argued when someone is providing facts, and suggested when proposing an idea. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the most overused word in English, taking the top spot over all other words. It's none other than literally. These days, it seems that everything is being literally done or experienced. But let's remember that this word should be used to emphasize a true, factual statement. So, let's use it with caution and choose the right words to describe our experiences more accurately. Here's an example of how it is sometimes exaggerated. I was so hungry, I literally could eat a horse. Here is an example describing an experience. I was so scared during the horror movie that I literally jumped out of my seat when the ghost appeared. Remember, when doing reported speech exercises, it's beneficial to replace said with these varied words. So, the next time you're discussing what someone said, try using these alternatives for a more engaging conversation. That's all for today. Thank you for paying attention. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the red button below. I'll see you soon in my next videos. Bye bye.